So you lived in Bushwick your whole life, right?
Yeah,
And it's like since at least, well, I mean, before '89, you've been living there,
yeah,
and it's like you've probably seen so much change, there's so much crazy shit happening. What do you
right,
think
right.
about the current state of New York, and have you ever thought about moving out?
Nah. I'm not moving. I'm not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like staple, like I said. You know what I'm saying? Like word up. I seen a lot of people move. You know what I mean? Where a lot of families on my block. You know, a lot of people. Period. You know what I mean? I seen the neighborhood get gentrified. A lot of things going like buildings, old buildings getting knocked down, new buildings, you know, coming up. Yeah, all of that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of coffee shops, a lot of coffee shops. You know,
Do you think of it, the gentrification, I mean, as a negative thing, or you think of it as like
I feel like there's a good and a bad.
the cycle of life,
You know what I'm
burning
saying?
old wood so
Yeah,
the new
yeah,
things can
yeah,
flourish?
yeah, yeah. But it's yin and yang. I would say. You know what I mean? Because it's all right. It could be bad, but it has its goods. You know what I'm saying? So just like a sword, you know what I mean, you could chop somebody's head off, or you could use that shit to, like chop wood to make a house.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. You know what I mean? Like these people could come and be better for the economy and be better for your community, or they could just come through and just fuck everything up.
Yeah, it's like you said, the good and the bad, because you know they could be opening like organic and health food stores,
Right.
making people more conscious.
Right.
But there are negatives to that, which is that they cost a lot of money,
Very expensive.
very expensive.
Yeah.
But
And then it just makes the price go up.
yeah, it
you
makes
know?
people
Yeah.
almost being like, oh, that's just a luxury.
Right.
Like eating healthy is a luxury. I don't want
Right.
to do that. Like there's a picture. It's like a McDonald's salad is like $7, but a hamburger is like
I saw
a
that.
dollar. Or
Yeah,
some
I
shit,
saw that.
You know?
I
So
saw that.
they
Even if you just think about that, that's wild.
Yeah,
Because
and
one of them, you had to grow. You had literally had to. It grows on trees,
Right,
literally. The
right.
other one, you have to give mad water, mad food. It takes years
But
naturally.
if you have knowledge of self, then you'll see and you'll notice that, what's good for you, they charge you.
yes.
What's not good for you, you can fairly purchase it like that.
Hmm.
That's what makes
You know?
going back to what we talked about, the negative connotations to being like, quote unquote vegan,
Right.
is that, people think of it as, like I said, like a luxury, like a diet, it's
Right,
like a
right,
choice,
right.
like it's something nice to do for a little bit, or like it's something I want to do to get skinny, like people need to get that out of their heads and just
Right.
thinking of it as just, the source of life, not death.
Right.
And it's not crazy to say. It makes sense.
It's
It
so
does
much
make
sense. So much sense.
Like it's literally death versus life.
Yeah.
Low key, there are a lot of writers who are more on their vegan flow now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they're starting to wake up. They're
Mhm.
starting to wake up. But then there's still a lot that I've seen that's still swine and dine, you know what I'm saying? Still go to these restaurants and, you know what I'm saying, still eating beef, chicken, you know what I'm saying, still eating ribs, rib tips, and, you know what I mean, things of that nature.
It's because it's so easy, It's like they show you the commercials, crispy fried chicken. There's oil and the skin is popping. It looks so tasty.
Smell good.
$3.99.
Yeah.
Everyone else is eating it. Popeyes is across the street.
Right,
Why would I say no to that to have some raw spinach and red beans?
right.
No,
That's the thing. It's like,
It's psychological.
yeah, and it's hard to gain control over your mind and gain control over your senses and gain control over yourself,
Yes,
because you really got to know yourself
Yes.
and your purpose on this planet
yes,
to be able to be like, all right, there's literally temptation everywhere,
yes.
but I know that inside I have enough control to decide what I'm gonna do and not let the commercial I just saw decide for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's something powerful to be able to do that. Aside from the vegan thing, whether your thing is like, your diet, or you're like a meditator, or you do yoga, or like to really be able to step away from the norm when everything else makes that super, super easy, and everyone else around you is going to clown you or going to say like you're wild for doing that.
yeah.
It takes a lot, bro, to do that. Did you receive hate at all from the graph community when you put vegan on your Instagram caption sometimes?
Nah. Just recently, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I mean, a fool who was, I mean, all of his feelings were, he was like, yo, fuck everybody who's vegan. Like, salty, you know what I mean? Like, what they got to do with vegan people? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you be salty at a vegan? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't get it.
It's like just people trying to better their life
Right,
style,
right.
you know,
I really
like
don't
trying
get
to
it.
elevate themselves.
Right.
It's you know, there's certain people, you know, I'm not even saying this with ego, it's just certain people are meant to stay on a lower plane, you know, and there's people
Lower vibration.
Lower vibration.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Bro, it's everywhere, man, like through materialism, through everything. They say like, yo, imagine every female woke up tomorrow and they decided, you know, they really like how they look and they don't buy no more beauty products. Yo, $1 trillion corporations will shut down tomorrow.
Facts.
If people just fucking loved
That's a fact.
themselves. Not only women, bro, like everybody. Like
Everybody.
bro, all that shit. Materialism,
Yes,
clothes,
yes,
like
all of that.
spending
all of
money
that.
on things that don't
all of
really
that.
matter, you know?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, the thought is that eating healthier and eating more plants is like a new hipster wave, but really, you know, like you were saying, the Ital Rastafarians,
Right.
these Hindus, these Chinese, Vietnamese, Tibetan Buddhist monks,
Right.
mad societies have been doing this for mad long. This is not a new thing. It's just not a common thing.
It just wasn't a label like it is now. Like
Right, it's not labeled.
It's not a vegan word, you know.
And actually,
Right.
in other countries, the poorest people they don't eat as many animal products as us because they just can't afford it.
Right.
Because in other countries, that shit is bread.
Yeah.
Like a
You know,
luxury.
like
Yeah.
it's a straight up luxury.
Yeah.
My like my fam's from Ecuador, and they talk about how like when they were growing up, if they saw you eating like that's like any animal products in terms not like cheese but
Right.
steak, like a good steak,
Right.
or
Right.
you know, langosta or anything like that, they know that you're well off. Whereas here, it's like the poorest people. That's what they're not gonna get like langosta steak. But I'm saying like a burger or any type of like cheap deli meats, hot dogs. Yo, if you think that's, what are you paying for, bro? You think that if you think, you know, if you think it's expensive, what are you spending your money on? Because I think, me personally, the health and control of your mind is very important. You know.
Yeah. I feel like health is wealth, like we said. You know, and people need to realize that. You know, or get your mind right. You know, stop eating all these nasty things that don't. You know, you're feeding yourself with poison. You know, you're drinking poison. Like, you got drinking things with metal in it. You know, it's not good. You know, at all.
Nah, yo, people are, you know, they're so busy with like fighting a system outside of themselves, you know, rioting outside of themselves, doing aggression outside of themselves, but they need to
You gotta love yourself.
looking within. It starts
Yeah.
with your individuality, man. It
Yeah.
starts with each person actually finding themselves. Then naturally, the fucking earth will change, bro. Naturally, it doesn't
fact.
change through fires and, you know, fucking burning everything down.
Right,
It
right.
changes with fucking the energy changing within, you know, and it accumulates. The whole energy of the world changes, you know. There's only so much, like, bro, I try to speak about this shit almost every time, and like it never gets old to me personally because I see this happening every day. I feel it every time I step outside, and I need to speak about this, you know. And if people want to listen, they can, and if they don't, you know, whatever. But I don't know.